Now let's return to our lead story on the EndSars protests happening across the country, and we have our correspondent Mian Akiri at Lekki Tollgate, and he joins me now for more updates. And as well, we have our convener of Integration Summit Group Nigeria, Chris Ekio, and he joins me via Skype from Abuja. Good to have you both on the news at this time. So let's begin with you, Mian. Give us a feel of how the protests are going on right now. Okay, so it seems we're having some challenges getting a feedback from me and Akiri. But let's quickly turn this now to you, the convener of Integration Summit Group Nigeria, Chris Ekio. If you can hear me now, there are concerns now that the protests might degenerate into a state of anarchy if not controlled. Do you share the same sentiments as well?
Thank you and good evening. So far, so good. So long as government and their agencies don't rock the boat, it will probably snowball into a movement and a demand by the people who are so organized for the first time in the country to ask for a position. But I don't think that if there's no interference from government and hoodlums, that there's anything to fear about. Government should just listen to the demand and begin to respond as it should be. It's long overdue. But if they dare to try to possibly modify this campaign by using force or technicalities, then it will get out of hand. I already saw a release by the Nigerian Army about the next operation, Crocodile Smile. I think it's rightly untimely. If they get into the street to want to do something and a military man molests one civilian, then the thing will escalate. Right now it's under control, it's issue-based and focused. And I look at an uprising that will only come if government decides to interfere differently. So far, so good. I think we're doing well.
But, you know, there are concerns as well that the constant gridlock is affecting or has crippled businesses in Lagos, which is a commercial center, and, of course, leaving many stranded. And citizens are being denied from, receiving perhaps emergency care wherever it needs to be, rather. But aren't you concerned that this, has affected or has crippled the socio-economic activities in states across Nigeria?
Oh, yeah, there is a price to pay for every change that has to come. People will pay the price. In fact, we were shut down since February, and we're still partially shut down. So there's nothing strange about what's happening now. It's timely. It's long overdue. The current situation in our country needs radical change. And there's a drastic issue on ground. It needs drastic measures. Young people finally woke up from sleep and have decided to take their destiny in their hand. The point is they're making a germane demand, and government needs to walk the talk, get involved, and begin to respond in the direction that we quell these agitations peacefully. Anything short of that will only just send us into a conflict nationwide.
Yeah, even though the youth say they are ready to stay for as long as it takes to get their demands met, the federal government seems pretty much, in tandem with getting their demands. Even though it's gradual, to an extent, they've gotten 5 of their demands met, and now they've given out 7 more extra demands. Don't you think perhaps the youths need to back down in this regard?
Okay, when a situation continues to repeat itself in a manner that is very consistent with unseriousness, people will never take government seriously until they take action. The police reform has been on since 1998, since Obasanjo came. You had a couple of reports from various senior police officers. You had the Paris Scientist report. You had several other reports that have come in for police reform. Nothing is done. The National Assembly also passed a few actions. Nothing is done. The issue of electricity that they are demanding is there. People pay bills for light they don't consume. So I think that the youth still do not believe that what government is saying will come to a reality. So government should immediately activate the ones that they can, that do not need modification of any law. And the people will begin to see a positive response and then begin to have faith again. The truth is, the number of youths you see out there have lost faith in the government. They are just but the tip of the iceberg. It's only a matter of time that more people will step out, and people will be willing, regardless of what happens, to stay out there and shut down the country. So the government, in a proactive manner, must begin immediately to respond to those things that are legitimate, and so legitimate as it were. Like, for instance, the scrapping of SARS. You don't immediately, switch it with another name, SWAT. You need to allow a proper thing to be done before you begin to think of what to do next. Some of the things the youth are demanding are already there in the books. Government only need to implement them. It has just failed over the period to do so.
All right, and
So
that's
let
a
them
fine
walk the talk.
place to leave it. Thank you very much, Chris Akio, for your insights on the news at 7 tonight.
Thank you very much.